Today I'm trying out a new place to service my wife's car. The place we went to is not only further away, and it takes us half an hour to get there and half an hour to get back, but it feels like that the level of service has gone down in the last few years, and we've brought our car there a couple of times now to get a few things fixed, and neither of those things have been fixed. So I thought that we'd give this place a go. It's so much closer. So basically I'm in my wife's Hyundai Kona, which is a 2020 model. We've had very few kilometers on this car. She barely drives it, and we've had ongoing trouble. One is the squeaking of the steering wheel. Apparently there's something that needs to be replaced there, and they never ended up replacing it. But the bigger problem that we've been struggling with this car that no one seems to be able to fix is the fact that it feels like this car, when you try and accelerate from the start, feels like, do you know, when you're driving a manual and you've got it in first gear and you just forget to change the gear and it's just over revving and the car's not really going very fast? It feels like that's what's happening with this car, and this car is an automatic. So we are not too happy with this car. It kind of just revs and revs and it doesn't go. We've taken it to the same service place a few times and they've told us that the car is adapting to our driving habit. And funny that my wife has been driving this car for 3 years, but they've never fixed it. We've given them about 3 times. They've actually treated us like we're some sort of idiots that don't know anything about cars, and that's not the case. So let's go to this new place and see if they're any better. And it's going to be hot today, so I'm going to have to walk home after this and we'll go from there. See you soon. So I'm here at the Hyundai service place and let's see how it goes. I'm going to try out a new accessory, and that's a clip for my hat. This is it.
29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10.
Do I feel hopeful? Well, maybe. The girl at the desk said it's to do with the dual clutch transmission, and it's meant to be like that. I've heard that story before, so we can only hope that they're going to look into it properly. I have no delusions about the fact that we may very well get the car back exactly how we left it, but we'll see. I think a lot of people have forgotten about the principle that the customer is always right, and don't question the customer continuously and pretend that they don't know what they're talking about. But we'll find out this afternoon whether these guys are any different.
And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all this.
So I've detoured off the main road because it's so hot and so loud and so smoggy, and just gonna walk home. So I feel like I need to give a little bit of an explanation about this whole car saga, and I'm just getting a little bit irritated. So we have had like 2 Hyundais, still can't pronounce it. I'm going to call it Hyundai. We had a Tucson, which we had for a while, and that's the car that I traded when I got my Tesla. And we've always had problems. We'd never liked that dual clutch transmission thing because it just feels like, basically what it feels like is you're accelerating but the car's in neutral, and I feel like it's super dangerous. I don't really like the fact that the car is so unresponsive when you accelerate, especially when you come out of side streets and stuff like that, when you want just instant acceleration, and the Tesla gives you that. Apparently this Kona is the same.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true.
So last time we brought the car to the shop, we even got asked to sit in it and drive before them because they didn't kind of believe us. Because when they said it was fixed, we got in the car and it was exactly the same as what it was when we brought it there. So we drove the car for them, still didn't believe us, thought we were some sort of lunatic. Luckily I didn't slag them out too much this morning because I've just found out that this place that we've got the car to today has actually bought the place that we normally take the car to. Good job I didn't go too ballistic on them this morning. So I'm going to show you one more thing about this Insta360 Go3. This is a pole, and I'm going to stick the camera to the pole, and I'm going to show you that I can just record by sticking the camera to that thing. So that's me, and the camera is stuck to the pole. So I don't have to hold on to it, don't need a tripod, just sticks to anything metal. How cool is that? So it's me as I'm walking, and I'm just going to all of a sudden decide that I want to just stop. I'm going to take this camera out. I've got to press the little button on the side here. I'm going to pull it out. There's the pole, and I'm just going to lock it straight on the pole and keep talking to you.
I'm just as surprised as you.
So one of the really important things to remember when you purchase a vehicle is that it's not a once and done experience. Especially with ICE or internal combustion engine cars, you have to service them every 6 months. And if they give you really shoddy customer service, it just takes away the whole experience of purchasing the car. And it doesn't matter how good the car is. When you have issues with it, somebody's got to be able to be competent and fix it and take into consideration what the customer wants. And also, while I'm at it, I just want to show you this $5 million, I didn't say $1,000, I said $5 million footpath that our Premier and our local member has decided that would be useful to put in as a bike path. Here it is.
Really happen here. I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again.
So that's $5 million. Welcome to money well spent. And look, it's just like any other path. And as I keep walking down this street, we have more bits of rubber for the bike track and the walking track, which I'm the only one using it. And I've seen maybe 2 bikes on here in the last 2 years. And I think they ran out of money with the 5 million because they forgot to put the little bit down here. There. To stop the kiddos from falling over the edge and breaking their neck. So here, 5 million. Over there. Free over there.
Life lessons come 1 in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing.
Just saw a bike dude.
Here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter.
So I'm home. I'm boiling hot. It's going to be like 30 degrees today. It's going to be like that for the whole week. It's going to be so hot for September. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify a few things. So number one, I don't have an issue about cars or anything else for that matter, any sort of tech that breaks down, but you've got to treat your customers with the respect that they deserve. I don't think it's a good idea to treat the customers like they don't know anything, because they're the ones who are experiencing the problem. And just because you've not heard of the problem doesn't mean that the problem don't exist. I hate to say it, but when it comes to cars, people in general, the people who service cars, people who sell cars, treat females worse than they treat males. It's like, I don't know why, but there are a lot of girls who know more about cars than guys. There is no reason to treat anyone differently. And this is the beef that I have with the automobile industry, is that when a couple walks into a showroom to look for a car, you don't immediately stare at the guy, because it may be the girl who wants to buy the car and maybe the girl that knows what they want. So that's something that definitely needs to be improved on. But I'm going to have some water and I'm going to finish this vlog later and let you know the ins and outs of what happened today and whether the car's been fixed or not. Fingers crossed. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll let you know later. So it's super bright now. We've got the car back. We got told kind of the same story, how it's a dual clutch transmission and it's meant to stutter a little bit, and they've now reset it back to the factory settings. So for the next couple of 1,000 kilometers, it's going to learn your driving habits, and don't be surprised if it feels weird. And they couldn't reproduce the steering creaking issue, but they were nicer than the other people, so we'll see how it goes. My wife's just driven the car home. I'm on the way home, and I'll find out shortly whether she thinks it's made any difference. She also said that because it's like a dual clutch system, it wears out like a normal clutch or something, so as time goes on it feels like it's not going to be the same as when you first bought the car. I don't know if that's a whole lot of rubbish or whether that's actually true, but I feel like the way this car is and the way that the dual clutch transmission thing works in these Hyundais, that it makes me actually just not want to get one ever again. And if we do that, then we don't actually have to ever worry about this silly dual clutch transmission. Haven't had a great track record with a lot of these cars. We had a Jeep, actually 2 Jeeps prior to the Hyundai, and we had loads of problems with them as well. In fact, there was one time where some of the cylinders blew out or something, and I ended up having to drive down the freeway at 30 kilometers an hour, and I needed to get the car towed to the workshop, so that was fun. This thing's gonna kill me. One thing I don't like about the Tesla is that the sun visors are magnetic, and you can't really control them when they flip out, as you can see there. We're on our way home. One of the banes of my existence with cars is having to service them and to also go fill up gas at the gas station. And I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore with the Tesla. When you sell cars, it's like anything else, but especially with cars, is when you sell cars, there's always going to be servicing and maintenance. My warning to you guys is that no matter how much you love a brand of car or like a make of car, just have a think and get some reviews on their post-sales support. Servicing is critical to the maintenance of any vehicle. Even if you get an awesome car and the sales experience was really nice, if the after-sales support and the service is rubbish, you're going to hate your car. And I've learned the hard way a few times already, and that's just something to bear in mind. I personally wouldn't get another Hyundai, but that's just my personal preference. I'm not saying that they're not nice cars. They're actually nice cars, but we've just had bad service experience in the previous place. And if this place is better, then I don't have an issue with that. And if this is the end of the vlog for today, thank you for watching. Leave a comment below if you have had trouble servicing your car, if you had problems with your car, period. And let me know what you did to try and make that better, or whether they didn't make that better and you're still having to deal with it right now. And I'll catch you again in another video soon. Have a great afternoon. Bye. This car in front of me, and ironically it's a Hyundai Kona, not my wife's, but just another Kona. They're driving like a snail, so they keep hitting the brakes all the way down this hill. And which leads me to another story. I was driving out of my street with my wife early today after doing the whole car service thing, and this car nearly ran into me, kept reversing, even though I was honking and there was nowhere for it to go, and it kept trying to reverse. I don't know what they were doing. So that's just another fun part of the day. Let's just see if this Kona actually accelerates as it gets off, and I'll see you later. Bye.